focus, man.
All right, so here I am strolling around the WERNHILL Mall. I'm leaving a restaurant called Mug and Bean, and if you've never heard of it before, you're not alone. It was my first time trying one. Apparently, it's a chain that's big in South Africa and by extension Namibia and Botswana and surrounding countries as well. Now the food was decent, it kind of reminded me of a Denny's or something similar in the States. Now the menu isn't exactly the same, but they have a pretty solid breakfast, pretty solid lunch, and the service was very good. Even when it was busy, they attended to me right away. Now, there's one located inside of this mall, and they're located all throughout Namibia. And if you want to try something different, I would recommend it. Now, this mall here in particular is located right in the downtown. You can walk there from almost any point, and as you'll be able to see here in the videos, it's quite a big mall. It is connected with a bridge from one side of the street in the downtown all the way across the other side, and it has multiple floors as well, so you're never going to get in this mall and not find what you need. They've got every kind of store you can think of. I will say that the electronics were way overpriced, but I think that's just the reality when you're dealing with the taxes that the government puts on a lot of stuff and the shipping cost to reach Namibia. So if you don't know already, I would say get all your electronic items in the States or Europe before you come to Africa in general. But if you absolutely have to get certain things, you're going to have an easier time finding
Hit that
them.
like button. I'm putting in work out here.
You're going to have an easier time finding them in Namibia than in some other African countries that are smaller and maybe less developed. Now, this mall, like I said, is huge. It is a labyrinth. It has multiple floors. It crosses over a bridge through downtown. So I got lost in this mall more than once, and just trying to find the exit can be a challenge at times. There are multiple exits. It just depends what side of the city, part of the downtown, rather, that you want to be let out at. And this is just a typical day. There are a lot of shoppers. This wasn't even a weekend. I think this was just during the week. So it seems like you could come here any time of the year, any time of the week, and it's not going to be empty. Because I know I got some comments on some of my other videos that Namibia seems very empty. And I get that. The population of the country is, I believe, around 2 million. And for a territory as big as it is, it's kind of surprising. But here you can see that there is some kind of density in Namibia. And you can see lots of people. Now, it really surprised me how familiar things were in Namibia. Looking around at the people, they reminded me so much of Black Americans in the States. You have every type of look. You've got really tall, really short, really dark, really light, and everything in between. In general, anyone I spoke to was polite. I didn't have any rude interactions. And people have been generally helpful here in Namibia. You can probably notice too that a lot of the style is similar to what you would see in the States. Now, some things are straight up African, like, this guy with the flip flops with jeans. That's something African Americans would never do. But other styles, like if you go out at nighttime in the nightclubs, they'll dress very similar to what you're used to seeing in the States. And oftentimes people did not know that I was American. I would say 7 times out of 10, people could not tell that I was from the States. Even once they heard my accent, which really blew me away, because if I don't sound like an American, I don't know what I sound like. And it's super weird for me when I'm traveling and people tell me, hey, you sound like they guess that I'm British, or they guess that I'm Canadian or something else. Anything other than American when they hear me in English is pretty weird. As you can see, they got KFC. So far, that's the major American fast food chain. And I'm not promoting it. I'm not saying fast food is a good thing whatsoever. But if you're looking for McDonald's and Burger King, you're not going to find them in Namibia. Not yet, thank God. I hope they never come to Namibia or anywhere else. But that's a whole nother conversation. And if you just saw an ad for McDonald's or Burger King before this video played, I take it all back. Go have yourself a Whopper on me. Go have yourself a Big Mac. Use my promo code JFocus1 and they'll hook you up. Now I'm just messing with y'all. So this mall has obviously a parking lot, an underground garage, but also there is a transport hub that is beneath this shopping center. And as you can see here, if you come out, there's some taxis, the shared taxis that people use. They have those numbers on the side of them. It'll say like Y153 or J223 or E126 like you see here. But there are other ones here just directly underground. You don't have to go out to the street to hail one. And they're organized based on what part of the city they're going to head to, which general direction, and then you can ask them more questions like, hey, can you drop me off on blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah street? And generally, they can accommodate you, or if they can't, they'll point you in the direction of someone that can. And here you see that they're trying to solicit my business. They think I'm just another Namibian who's trying to get home after a hard day of shopping. And you can see people's reaction to my camera. It's not something that they're used to seeing every day. And so if you keep going, apparently here, I guess that is the office that kind of organizes the taxis, maybe gives them their numbers. I don't have all the details, but it was closed when I walked by. And so if you come all the way out of the shopping center of WERNHILL Mall, you've got this area here, which is an al fresco shopping for the people who aren't trying to pay retail store prices to have their business inside of the mall. I'm sure here it's far cheaper. You've got all kind of random things you can buy. You have a drink. I'm sure you can get a hot dog or some other things. Over here cutting hair. There are actually a lot of barbershops in downtown Windhoek. So if you need that fresh cut, they got you. If you need to get your hair twisted up, they got you too. Nails, all of that stuff. And just random things for sale here. And there it is. You got all of the larger vans, not just those little taxis. And same thing, they got those numbers on the side and the letter. And I don't think they're organized in any particular way, like letter B goes to this part of the city. I think you just have to ask. And they will shout it out in case you're wondering. And everyone speaks English, so it's not a problem to say, hey, are you going to XYZ? And then, of course, you also have rideshare apps They don't have Uber, but they have something that's an Uber equivalent. I forget the name of it. If it comes to me, I'll put it down below. If not, somebody who is listening to this video can comment and help out the next person. I appreciate you, and I'm sure whoever is going to be helped by it will appreciate you too. And we're just heading back now underground, and I'm just going to show you guys a little bit more of how things look if you're at WERNHILL Mall. Now, besides WERNHILL Mall, which is in the downtown, you've also got two other large malls in Windhoek. The next closest mall is Namibia Mall. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's Maerua, and I'm going to be showing you guys what that mall looks like in the future. But here you can see the names of the different neighborhoods, and they each have different spots where you wait if you want to get into a taxi. And so everyone's just coming out with their things, getting in line so that they can get the right taxi and head on home. And it never felt unsafe out here. As I said, I blend in quite well in Namibia, which can be an advantage and a disadvantage depending on how you look at it. But that's like everything in life. It's all about how you look at it. Okay, so we're back through the underground entrance of the mall. You can see some different shopping places, different clothing stores. This place to the left looks like a Payless. It's called Techie Town. It's just a whole bunch of shoes. That's what it appears, you know, some clothes and stuff too, but looks like they're mainly focused on their shoes. All different brands, some you heard of, some you didn't hear of. Western Union is everywhere in downtown, so if that's something that you need to use, you can find it, but the rates are very bad. So if I was you, I would try and avoid using Western Union in Namibia. It's very slow, and like I said, the rates are not the best. So Debonair's Pizza is another pizza chain that Americans are not going to be familiar with, but in many parts of Africa, it's kind of their equivalent of Domino's. So I'm starting to see that in many different countries. They have it in Ethiopia. They have it in, I believe, every southern African country, and who knows where else they have it, but it's an African, I won't say it's an African-based chain because I don't know where it's actually based, but it's widely seen throughout Africa, where Domino's isn't that common, Pizza Hut isn't that common, and they don't have those chains here in Namibia. And so we're just moving through the mall here. As you can see, it's starting to get a little bit more empty. This mall closes quite early. I believe it closes at 6 p.m. 5 or 6 p.m. And so we came full circle now. This is back where we started at the Mug and Bean, where we came out originally. And there's another cafe there to the right, which seemed pretty popular. And then you have this large grocery store here, Checkers. Got that huge liquor shop to the left. That's self-explanatory. And we're gonna head on down the escalator. Alright, so if you watched this far, I appreciate you. Go ahead, like the video if you haven't already. And if you stay tuned, we're going to have some more Namibian content coming for you. It should pop up here in a minute. If not, you can search the list of my videos that I've done previously. Until next time, this is your guy Jay Focus, reminding you to stay focused.
Focus, man.